The G-Wade Podcast with Deacon Dirty.
What up, y'all? It's your boy G-Wade holding it down. G-Wade Podcast, kicking it alongside with my man Deacon Dirty. And we got family in the building. I was going to say a special guest. It's a special guest, but it's more family than anything because it's the homie I grew up with. I don't even know what you want me to call you right now. You want me to call you Tony?
Fat
you want me to
Tony.
go with back in the day, Fat Tony? You want me to go with Tony Martin? Anthony? What you want to be called?
You can call me. Well, let's do it like this. Call me Drac, because that's my name in the motorcycle world.
D-R-A-C.
C-K.
Drac.
Mm-hmm. Short for Dracula.
All right. So I'm learning something right now. You know what I'm saying? Well, let's back it up way back. We can go way back. Way back. You said, man, let's get on the mic. Let's chop it up. Let's get into who we are. How long we've been on each other, which has now been,
Oh my God. Let's say
40 years.
I would say maybe longer than that. Let me think.
I came around Kennedy Street when I was going to the 4th grade.
Right. So shout out to Kennedy Street of
Uptown,
Washington D.C.
DC all day. Everybody know me in Atlanta. Know I rep DC hard.
Right.
I've never slacked on where I come from. You know what I'm saying? How many years is that? From 12 to
a long time.
It's been a minute, bro.
So I think when we first met, I think we used to play football together or something like that.
But I was down the hill, so I didn't meet y'all at first.
Right.
The first person I met around the way was John.
Okay.
R.I.P. to John.
Yeah, R.I.P.
And his mom and his sister.
Right, Venus
and Sabrina, yeah.
Now, when you met John, was he living?
He was living on Missouri.
That's correct.
Yeah,
right, on the other side of Kennedy. Okay, right.
Mm-hmm.
And he was at Rudolph with you, right?
He was at Rudolph too, right?
Okay.
So he was the first person, and black. And then somewhere along the line, I think when the summer was over and when school started, is when I met Black.
Okay. And that was probably because y'all were always in the same grades. Remember?
Right. You was
y'all caught me.
Slow down. Exactly. You like I'm gonna let y'all catch up. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I had to wait on y'all.
He was nice, so he was always nice. You know what I'm saying? That's funny.
So I like I said, the memories that I remember is I think when we kind of hung out with Sean Reeves and all them in country, and then your brother.
Mm-hmm. Well, my brother, because my brother didn't really hang out like that. Like,
because I just always remember him and Mo and
Willis,
and all them.
He hung with Wayne that lived under the liquor store, right. Under the liquor store, right.
I forgot the name of
that.
No,
he was above. He was above. Yeah, I remember that.
I thought because remember we would go to the window and we'd be like,
oh, maybe you're right. Yeah, you're right. Because Sabrina ended up moving into that apartment.
Right,
John's sister. Right. Wow, that's crazy.
You taking it way back.
It's coming back to me now, bro.
Right. But like I said, what I can remember is back then we looked at y'all as like the guys down the hill.
Because we were down the hill.
Right. We was like
I felt less than down the hill.
Right. You telling me about that, man. You was like.
I did, bro. I felt like we was poor, bro. Right. Well, let me put it this way. My pastor just years ago said that they didn't know they were poor until somebody told them. Mm-hmm. And so I was just living. You know what I'm saying? Me, my brother, my cousins, we all lived in the building, And John.
Right.
And went to school, no nothings, until I went up the hill. And the moment I went up the hill, I was like, oh, this is different. I went to Black's house first because he lived on First Place.
Correct.
And I was like, okay, he in an apartment. That's what I remember.
But they just happened to own the building.
They just happened to own the joint. And there was only 2 in there.
Right, exactly.
And I was like, okay, so we the same. And then I met y'all, and I don't know how.
I want to say it's like, remember, we were the younger between your brother, Willis, and all. Remember, they used to play older. Football first. And we'd come up there to the park. Just to watch them a little bit. They might let you play a little bit. Then they kick us off. Then the big boys play. Then eventually they start saying, okay, we need to make it even. They might let you play. Right. Let me play.
We sitting on the sidelines just hoping.
Like hoping we get our chance. You know what I mean?
Let us in, coach.
Exactly. So
wow, that's funny because I don't remember outside of that. I don't remember the order of which.
I want to say it started off as like more kind of like the
casual.
Sports, and also going up to the rec. Remember back then we were hanging up at the
boat.
Right. They even had skating. They had a little bit of everything. So we go up there and stuff like that. And Like,
okay, yeah, I remember. I used to do gymnastics.
Right.
Up there. I
wasn't talented at all, so I couldn't do nothing but watch y'all like, you know what I'm saying? So
that's funny.
But, yeah, I think like you told me that like when you got up to our house, you felt different. Like you thought like
I knew, not just felt, I knew it was different.
We were rich, bro.
Absolutely, bro.
Like, you know, like I think
like in the dark.
we looked at it as okay, when we had house, we was just making it.
Hey, listen, when you come from off of Kennedy Street,
right,
and you go up to Madison,
right,
Longfellow,
right,
maybe even Mill Morrison,
right? Exactly.
I remember the streets, bro.
And the streets get the houses a little bit better.
Get a little better each time you go up, and I'm like, dang, we down here, though.
Right, exactly. But
and all of y'all came down there to hang, and then y'all go home,
right? Because
we stuck on the.
And see, that's the thing. We used to think. Y'all had it so much better. Y'all got everything right there.
The store, Tom's.
Exactly. The Brightwood,
the arcade joint.
You know, so it was cool. But now, that's when I started looking at life different. Okay. Because the same way
now, we're circa what? What are you
like
elementary or in junior high?
I want to say maybe around junior high.
Okay.
Because the same way you felt like meeting us, although we're only 2 blocks away.
Right.
You looked at us like we had it better. I used to look at the guys on the northeast side of like that.
Across North Capitol.
Exactly.
Right.
I used to think they had it so much better.
Yeah. Cherie and them.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Then
that's
Eric
funny. I remember them.
And all those guys.
And the little young kid and his, what's one that got ended up getting murked because he got into the game? Floyd, what was his name?
No, Dale, I think.
Little dark skin,
right,
skinny
exactly.
kid.
His sister was oh God, you taking me way. I don't want to say it's
because they all live like in that little row,
that little section.
Yeah.
That was like a nice little family oriented area, but
which was right across the street.
Right, exactly. But that's how I started looking at things. Looking at it's psychological.
Yeah,
because
it's all in the mind
to kind of. Not like this person or not like that person.
And we had a certain mentality though. Let's be for real.
Right, exactly.
When you was from Northwest, especially when you was uptown, you was already feel like you was like,
you had a little swag.
We good. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Northeast was Bama's.
Right, exactly. That's how we used to look at it back then. But see, now I look at it like, you know, how we had our little sector. You know, you go 2 blocks up this way, which would be us, and then you go 2 blocks over, go across Missouri, you had
Chuck and them, the Drummonds,
and all them, which I still talk to.
I see them online from time to time.
Yeah, I still talk to Chuck. He ride motorcycle. He takes some rides.
Oh, that's what's up. Shout outs to Chuck, Tony, Daryl,
right, exactly.
And the other 2,
Jose and Tracy,
Stacy.
Right.
One of
the docs.
Yeah.
That was their stepbrothers. And then on the other side, Kenny Williams. Remember Kenny Williams?
I remember. Yeah.
He's actually in my motorcycle club.
Oh, that's what's up. I seen him. Yeah. I saw the picture. Right.
He's my VP. Shout out to Hammer. But when we started all us hanging together, I think like that saying like birds of a feather flock together because although we lived in an area that was kind of bad, but our mentality was
not.
And
we played.
Right, we played.
Like, you know, some people be banging on cereal. We got up and went outside and actually played.
We could not stand to be in the house, man.
Heck no.
And I think that was the main thing. We kind of played, you know, you saw the stuff. You remember you saw stuff, guys gambling down
right.
And they might get into it. But do you remember that time we saw the lady the guy was beating her up? We was kids. And it was right there where Country and them building was, and the guy was putting his hands on her, and we jumped. You remember that?
No.
Yeah, we didn't like all. We wasn't used to all that. You don't remember that?
No.
Yeah, we beat the guy.
Was I there?
Yeah, you remember? You was like one of the ones with the hands. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know,
I lost my hands, bro.
I
used to like to fight.
Exactly. People don't know. Yeah, you was the one. You had a little tip.
Well, I had a Napoleon complex. Let me be for real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
as long as they don't touch me.
Exactly. We beat the guy up. We beat him up bad. We put him in the hospital, but we didn't. We wasn't used to that.
We protected her though.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, we was doing more mischief stuff. We wasn't part of the let's just rob people and all that and do this type of stuff. You know, I think we were like in the middle. Like we were not the.
We was young enough to play,
right?
But old enough to be stupid, but we had consciousness about it. Yeah,
and we were a little bit more responsible,
right?
And plus,
like when Mama came out, we went home.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That street light come on, like
we gotta go.
Got to go.
I know my mother came out a couple times.
Exactly. Yeah, how your mom doing?
She's good. She's good. She was slacking on taking her diabetic medicine and had to get put in the hospital for a couple of days, but she was COVID free and all that kind of stuff. But she good though.
How long she been on dialysis? I mean, diabetic.
Oh man, it's been years.
Really?
Yeah.
That's something that's in our community, man. I started kind of, with being with my wife and working in the hospital. I started
you all in the health field, right?
Yeah, being a little bit more conscious because in the black community, man, if it's not diabetes, it's renal failure or high blood pressure or something that's taking us out among all the other stuff.
Or the streets.
Right, exactly. So we survived that part. So now it's the next phase, just trying to stay healthy a little bit more be conscious of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I see you looking like you're working out a little bit.
I mean, I told you they show muscles, man. This is just for show. Listen, total. I don't know if you remember. Do you remember back when I was like 12 years old? We was 12, 13. I used to be on the weightlifting team at the rec.
I kind of vaguely remember that. Remember that.
Yeah, I used to enjoy that kind of. Used to enjoy it. Wayne Smith, who lived by the liquor store, was a part of it, and that's how I got to be a part of it.
I remember that.
And so I used to like to work out, and I also enjoyed more. I used to go back more because the coach used to sing my praises, not because I could lift, but because I could read.
Oh wow!
And that was weird. He used to call people, "Hey, come check this young kid out who could read." Not like he could read, but like I'm reading 4 or 5 syllable words at 12 years old. And they all impressed by it. And I'm like, so I enjoy it. It made me feel good.
Made you feel good inside.
Like anybody never told me I could read. You know what I'm saying? So I used to enjoy doing it. But I'm just saying that to say, so I've always messed around with the gym. That's always been a part of my life. But now for me, it's a stress reliever. I get to go there and I get to don't think about nothing but exert some energy and get it off my chest.
How often do you go?
It depends on the week.
Now, if
I
you
can
go
go 3,
like
4 times a week.
But will you stay like a couple hours or just like
about a good hour.
And you do a little bit of everything?
Yeah, I kind of work my way around.
Okay.
Depending on which day. It's a stress reliever.
You've been doing that for a while now, though? Okay. Because like I said, again, you're looking like you're in shape.
I like it. I slimmed it down a little bit, and then I stopped messing around, and I kind of, I'm trying to go back this way. Right.
Because I definitely went this way. So.
Well, you know what? To be honest with you, you look the same.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't, and I'm not saying that. I don't hope that's not a bad thing, but you really look the same. You look exactly the way you look.
I spot the hair and
But your hair was always low. It wasn't like you was rocking froze like I would let my hair grow because I didn't get a haircut.
Exactly.
It coming out the side of the hat. You know what I'm saying?
Now, back in the day, did you used to get your hair cut by Bronson?
Heck yeah. He used to mess it up.
He passed away.
Yeah, Bronson did.
I remember seeing him. He had a stroke, and that's when I was working in the emergency room.
Let me get you closer.
I was working in the emergency room, and he came in, and I was like, man. That's Mr. Bronson. It kind of hit me, all them years.
Because we was little going up in there.
Exactly, real little. Yeah. Mr. Bronson's barbershop.
But when I would go in there, I was getting my hair cut from Don. One of the barbers there. Me and him became real cool.
Okay.
To the point where I started just going to his house and getting haircuts. Okay. That's how cool we became.
Okay.
Almost confiding kind of cool.
Okay. Now, he was from the area, too?
No. He lived out in, like, PG County, somewhere out there. Okay. These nice houses.
Okay.
Before we knew what the nice houses was.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
So he was living out there, him and his wife. Somewhere along the line, I lost touch with him. But yeah, so I used to go to Bronson's. But you look the same. Every now and then, I see Nardo pop up every now and then on Facebook, and I'm like, okay, Nardo looks the same. I mean, you can see
an older, his hair, though.
Right? But his hair was doing that anyway.
Right, but see, remember, you got to
think the curly hair, too.
Right, exactly. Like,
I used to be mad. Nardo had that wavy curl.
I used to be mad all y'all, man.
Nardo had that wavy curl.
And Black
I used to let her roll my shirt up, bro.
Black was bow-legged with black.
With the silver tooth.
And Nardo had the curly hair,
And Tony be out there with no shoes on,
shoes.
playing football.
Exactly, in the concrete.
In the street, bro.
Exactly, man. I was a country boy from day one, man.
That's funny.
Like I said again, it was good living, man. It was good times, and we stayed in this stuff, but not trouble.
Nah,
like I said,
bro.
we used to like going to the Go-Go's, stuff like that.
Remember the Northwest
Gardens,
Street?
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. That was like right across the street
from
you,
me,
so
right? Yeah.
I think I probably told my mother I was gonna be down at your house so I could go or
Stay till 6 in the morning.
Exactly. I fell asleep.
Right.
But
the Go-Go's used to be all night. You know what I'm saying?
Now, as far as like living down here, did they have a Go-Go scene, or did they?
There was for a minute.
Oh, well.
I stumbled upon a flyer several years ago. This is probably earlier 2000.
Really?
And I was like, what? I'm gonna go check it out. And I went by myself, dolo, and I forgot the name of the band. So I started kicking it with them because I'm like, I can talk go-go. You know what I'm saying? And and we became, not cool, but it just became real cool. So I went a few times, but they kind of.
Because remember, we had our bands, right? You do remember that?
Well, we started off no, we can't leave it out, bro. That's life. We started out with Inner City Groovers. I don't know if you remember ICG.
That was Sean.
That was Sean Reeves.
He was a little boy.
But that's how I got to play
That's
drums.
when they was calling you Sticks.
Sticks, right.
I remember that. So
I literally played with Sticks on trash cans.
Right, exactly. Because at that time, Junkyard had just kind of blew up. They was killing it. And we wanted to be the next
They
them.
was WORND.
Exactly.
Sardines and pork and beans.
Exactly. So remember, we was like saving. We was getting. We had an old Casio keyboard and
who was playing? I can't remember who was even playing it.
I want to say, was that Country?
Country did play for. He did. You're
right.
Because he had this one groove that I learned how to play.
Exactly.
That one thing.
He played the whole time.
He felt like he was doing something. He's like, I can do this. My brother was on the cow, which was actually a broken off piece of what's the joint that come down the side of your house? The water thing.
The gutter.
The gutter. He's
right.
That was what he played with. Sean Reeves played on the Maxwell House cans.
Yeah, that's where he stayed. All the coffee cans.
All the coffee cans.
Don't throw that away.
Right.
And the Campbell soup cans.
The Campbell soup cans. Get that little high.
Right, exactly.
The white buckets for the Congo.
Right, exactly.
I played on like really big green trash cans.
Exactly. I remember that. So now that was the ICU, but that was the older guys.
That's funny. And then they had that thing to go,
he thought we had a real sympathizer.
We was out there killing it.
So they started it.
Why we don't got pictures, bro?
Oh, we got to get this.
Could you imagine?
Nardo got some of them pictures of some of this. Now, I don't think he had to win the band, but I definitely remember some of the old pictures.
I got some old pictures of us now.
Now
I should have brought them joints with me.
I'm
gonna post them on the throwback.
With them having the ICG,
Inner City Groovers,
because they were the big boys. You was the only one out of you was out of our group, but you got to play with them.
I got to play, right?
I just want to let you know we was a little jealous of you back then.
But y'all remember though, I used to be on the cars.
Right, I remember that.
And that's how and y'all be. But they remember Big Nose boop boop with his mouth. We thought we was doing something, bro.
And see, you got to get to play with the group.
I got to play with the band.
We still had to play on the car. So then, remember, I don't know what happened. They broke up. We started our thing. We called it aggressive funk. Right,
yeah.
Exactly. And,
I don't know. Do you remember the aggressive funk? The aggressive funk kitty that we would put together. We used to save the money in Nardo's garage.
Exactly. And remember, we had a manager or something. That guy, I guess he lived down there by you somewhere. I forgot.
Oh, yeah, because when we were selling cookies.
He had us selling cookies. He
was robbing us, bro.
Because I think I must have sold about 1,000.
I know we sold some cookies, bro.
And he like, I'm going to get back with y'all.
Man, we ain't got nothing out the deal.
But now,
no equipment, nothing.
We did get to play some shows, though.
We did.
We did get to play. I think we played up
Rudolph.
Yeah, we got to play.
That's when we played with the big boys.
Yeah, we got to play with Petworth one time. We got to play with Reality.
Yep.
And we played up Belfort Towers.
Now, Belfort Towers, we had problems with them.
Exactly. Me and my mom.
We had to keep it moving with Belfort Towers.
We had to grab the microphone.
Like, we used to say Maryland Bammers, but we wasn't stupid.
Found out that we had to run back down to DC Live.
They would put them paws on you when you get caught. You know what I'm saying?
So we had a couple episodes, man.
Funny, bro.
That's what I just remember. Boy, you was fast as I don't know.
Listen, I don't play around, bro. Shoot.
We would be booking when we get into something.
I tell people to this day, I don't want to get hit in the face.
Exactly.
Bro. I don't want right now, I don't want to get hit in the face. I don't want to fight. This is for show. I don't want to do nothing.
We would fight, but a couple of those times it was like maybe 8 of us and about 25
of them. Right. Oh, remember we was coming from
what was that?
No, not the movie theater, but what's the joint? Petworth. What's that park right in Northwest?
Which park you talking about?
Where the Petworth band used to play?
What is it?
It's called Petworth Park.
And what happened? And
we was all leaving, and remember Lil Tony that was with us, the other Lil, not Lil Tony from across the street, but the other Tony.
Right.
He
Psycho Tony.
There you go. We was leaving, and somehow, I don't know what the heck happened, but he ended up running up to us. He was like, man, we was like, man, what's wrong? Me and Nada was like, what's wrong? Man, they hit me with the roll, man.
I remember that.
He said they cut me with the roll. We busted out laughing because they ran and tackled him. Did something to him.
That.
But we ain't want no problems. We was like, we out, bruh.
Yeah, but we had a couple scraps though. We had a fight. I remember y'all got to a fight out Greenbelt Mall. It was you and Otto and Rail and all that.
Oh yeah. Some dumb stuff.
Yeah, we had our little moment though. But like I said, we was pretty good kids. You know, we were in what I used to consider us. We were in the middle.
And we had these weird segments that we went through.
Right, exactly.
Phases. I don't know what it was.
I mean, I would say like that.
Because it was the band, like you said, we played in the band. That was fun. Then they started inching me out.
Right, exactly.
Because that's when Cornell eventually came.
Right.
Cornell started playing the congos because we got real equipment by this time.
Right, exactly.
But I still wasn't no real drummer.
Right. But you couldn't tell you was doing that thing.
Man, I was trying, bro. But I really wasn't. I can't pretend.
So let me ask you something now. Did it at one point wasn't you playing the congos for your church or something that?
Yeah.
Now how did all that start?
I remember when I used to go, the drummer at the church, he used to be killing it over there. And I just sit there and watch. And I just would be doing this to him. I'd be like, and he'd be like, yeah.
Oh, they didn't even have a congo at the time. Okay.
And so, but I knew the pastor because the lady I worked with, that was her cousin.
Okay.
And so I said to him, yeah, you think maybe you can get some congos for the band? And so he just got the big, not the goon box, but the big ones.
Right.
And so I was like, I can't play just
right.
So
you had to add a little piece.
I need the goon box, right? And so then we got the smaller joints, and then that's how I started cranking it. But Cornell was the one who actually started showing me how to play. I knew the basic book.
Okay, the basic. Okay.
Yeah, the basic pocket.
Right.
But then he started showing me this the one-on-one, this the this the that.
And he was good with it too.
Cornell used to kill it.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you ever talk to him sometimes?
Yeah. We still chop it up.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a while. I talked to him and I talked to
Bert.
Bert.
Yeah. Remember Bert and Daryl always had issues?
Always.
For some reason, Daryl did not like Bert.
Yeah, exactly. But what they used to call him Spitter.
No, that was Third and Kennedy called him Spitter.
Right.
We called him Monster.
Right. His eyebrows or something grew together or something like that. Man, we was heartless, man.
His hairline. Exactly. Listen, everybody from around our way was named something based on how they looked or something.
Because remember, y'all called me Kamala, the Raffler, because I used to walk around barefoot.
Because you walked around barefoot. Right, exactly.
Oh, man.
Carlton became Big Nose.
Exactly.
Remember the dude No Fingers down?
Oh yeah, that was
he used to be with Zeke in them.
Right, exactly. That's
for somehow or another Zeke became Zeke.
Exactly. We don't even know how. As a matter of fact,
but it was a drunk from
right.
Good Times. So one of them.
Okay. Well, I don't even know why you called him. They didn't even drink.
He was 12.
We called him Zeke.
And somehow or another he became Zeke. Lil Kiki down the street from a couple from you. Lil Tony across the street from you.
Because there was a few
Goofy Keith.
Exactly. Oh, then remember we used to call him Biscuit.
Biscuit.
Exactly.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, Biscuit.
Nardo didn't like Renato. He was actually Renada.
Exactly.
And he was like, man, I don't like that. I need a nickname. And I said, why don't we just say Nardo?
Right, exactly.
And so
he
became
on tough.
Yeah.
Nardo. Because we was like, Renada.
Exactly. And his mother and them would pull up, Renata. And he'd just go get in the car.
Well, he gonna hate us for this one, boy.
But remember we used to tell him, dude, you like 16 now. You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta go home. You know what I'm saying?
His father walk around that corner and be like, you got to go.
But then eventually he started rebelling on them.
Exactly.
And then they started leaving him alone more.
Exactly.
That's funny.
Wow.
So
man.
It was, but where did Lords of Funk come from? Remember Lords of Funk? Or were
Dang, I forgot about that.
That was the other band.
Now that's before. Matter of fact,
I thought it was Lords of Funk, then Aggressive Funk.
You might be right, because I think at one point the Aggressive, one of them is when we start allowing some of the
Lords
younger
of Funk, then Aggressive Funk.
Right,
because by the time it became Aggressive Funk, that's when they transitioned, or they transitioned into real players.
Right, exactly.
Because they got a real drummer.
Because remember, y'all, that's when
when Cornell's people started getting involved.
And the guy that played the guitar, Sniff, and all them.
Sniff played the, I think it was
remember
like the bass.
He played that, I think it was the lead, I think.
It was the lead?
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. His other boy, David,
right.
he played something. So he started bringing in his people. And they just took over our band.
And you remember we got in trouble when we went to the studio?
Dude,
we was the good boys that did the right thing. Sometimes we mess up though.
It was Booby's grandfather.
Who was it?
Dee Dee's grandfather who got us I
thought it was Nardo's father that got us. It was Dee Dee's grandfather?
It was either Dee Dee's grandfather. No, it was Booby's
father.
It was Dee Dee's.
That got it. Booked the space for us, right?
He booked the space under his name.
And some kind of way
we practiced.
Right.
And then we left with it.
Right. We kind of found some equipment.
Right.
We thought was ours. We walked off with it.
We did it a couple.
Nah, I thought we only did it once. And then they called
the statues are up.
Limitations they over with that.
Because remember Coolidge?
Now, see, I wasn't there with that. Y'all.
Never mind. I ain't going to incriminate by myself. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody best well take that diploma back from me or something. You know, it took me forever to get my diploma. Right. So I wasn't doing y'all capers with y'all. No, I did a little night school, a little extra to get my diploma.
Right.
But yeah.
That's funny.
I just remember all of a sudden y'all had new equipment. I didn't know
we had fresh EVs and PV monitors
exactly. And all. But then, because I had the house, y'all was like, well, how did he? My mama came home was like,
the hell is
this? Oh, this donated,
right.
Oh, you know how we found it. Exactly.
2 days later, hey, you got to take that stuff back, man.
He said this, so we did it right. We went on and took it back and.
It was Dee Dee's grandfather.
Right, Mr. Bill.
Yeah.
Mr. Bill.
Yeah.
That which passed away.
Yeah.
I thought it was Nardo's father that did it. Okay. Yeah. So I know we had that studio. That was the first time I'd actually been to a studio, because I used to think back in them days, like, you got to be rich to be in a studio and things like that.
Right.
But
that joint right on New Hampshire.
In New Hampshire Avenue. But
it's right next door to that what's that joint? It's a restaurant right next door to it.
Mid-Atlantic.
Yeah,
it's Mid-Atlantic.
Yeah, that joint.
But I don't know what they ever did with that studio thing.
I don't know. I went over there last time I was up there. The building was like abandoned. Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know what they did with it after that. But now, like, after we did the go-go thing, and then after you got out of school and everything like that, you started kind of going into the rap a little bit, right?
Yeah, I was kind of already in that lane doing rap. I'm air quoting it. And but me and my cousin, Vandale.
Yeah. How's he doing?
He's good.
Okay.
He's good. Okay. Him and his lady and kids up there chilling, working, doing what he do. We were King Royal and the Chosen One.
Which one was the Chosen One?
Who was king, bro? Who was all that? Who was filled with all this arrogance?
Got you.
Tis I. You know what I'm saying?
So that y'all started off.
We started off as a rap group. We was cool. We did a couple of shows. Nothing heavy.
Now, was y'all going to studios back then?
Yeah, we used to go to this joint down North Capitol. What's the name of the joint? A1 Productions.
Because I never knew they had all these studios.
This was in his crib.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you, this is also when life started we started living. You feel me?
Okay.
And so not only we living, we look like we living.
Okay.
We wearing like we living. We dressing like we living. And I remember, like, the next week when we went to the studio, the producer, he's like, he said, man, let me tell y'all something. When y'all first came here that first day, he said, y'all don't know this, but I had my gun sit right next to me, because he was saying to himself, who these little coming up in here with all this gold, all this all this fly and this money, so he was just looking out for himself.
Right, exactly.
But it turned out to be, we was cool. You know what I'm saying? We just having fun. So we was doing that for a minute, recorded a few songs of which I still have to this day.
Really?
And it would make you laugh to this day, bro.
Wow.
I listen back and I'm like, wow.
So now y'all had a manager and everything. Mm-mm. So this is y'all down to doing your own thing.
We was doing our own thing. Oh, so we was using him down North Capitol, but my cousin Vandell also knew a dude out in Silver Spring, Maryland, Miguel, who still cool to this day. Born Wise, shout out to Born Wise. That's because they was on the Asiatic, that black man thing. You know what I'm saying? And so we used to go to his house in Silver Spring and record in his basement on a 4-track. Oh wow! And it was crazy. We did that before we elevated to A1 Productions. Okay. But we was doing that for a minute, having fun with it, you know what I mean? And then life took a turn for me, because that's when Jesus came a knocking. You know what I'm saying? And it just kind of like flipped. My life got turned upside down. It totally just flipped.
Now, would you say when it flipped, that means you was this, like a lot of things happened in a negative way that kind of pushed you in a way. It was supposed to happen. So
looking back,
so absolutely. You could be where you are today.
Right.
But now you think at that time that was like the all-time low in your life?
Heck yeah, because I hit an all-time low. But it wasn't because of that. It was because of some other dumb stuff that I did. And so, but that's when it tanked. Because I was still, but I was doing it clientele.
Right.
I wasn't out, you know what I mean? And I lost my truck. I lost the apartment. I remember standing outside on the street on a payphone. Remember payphone? On the phone with my mother. This is in Laurel, Maryland. And I'm on the phone, whoop. Just, I don't know what to do. I ain't got nothing. I ain't got no way to get around if I can't get a hold of her or her.
Right, exactly.
To holler at me. And I remember when my mother said, "Boy, you just like your father." And I stood there and cried, bro. I remember standing at that payphone and I cried. Because my mindset was like, first of all, who? Let's start there. You know what I'm saying? Are we going to say something about my father? Who is this man? You know what I'm saying? And but that's when it started to tank right there. And that's when the law come in and other legal.
But I think that it had to happen to get you to where you were.
It got me to sit down.
Right.
It got me quiet. Right. And sure enough, that's what happened. Because I was up there in PG joint.
Right. Because I think that's how we actually fell. Not apart, but we got distance because back then when we were on Kennedy Street.
You can't leave out this one piece.
What's that, man?
When you wigged out on us, you don't know.
Okay. When I was my
not Drock, but this was Tony. This was
my living
Tony.
arrangements wasn't as ideal as they.
Bro, we was like, "Why you here, bro?"
Yeah, I was going through some things.
He was in the gutter.
They came to see me, man. And
he was defiant about it too.
I was so
it wasn't
ashamed.
like he was like, you know what? He was defiant about his situation, like he living in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was lost for a minute. So you gonna remind me about that? Bruh, I actually forgot about that.
I ain't forgot about that, bro.
Like you said though, I think that certain things happen in your life to kind of motivate you or curve you to a point that you got to make a decision.
You got to do something.
Like, okay, do you
like
want to live
Brown,
like this?
What you gonna do?
Yeah. Or do you want to be like this? And that's when you got to look internally say, well, I really don't want to live like this.
Right.
There's some people,
bad,
I was living foul. I was like really foul.
And by foul, we mean you was living in the gutter, bro.
I was in the gutter coming from where we were to this.
I'm like, how,
I'm
bro?
Like,
that's lower than
exactly. I was like, who cares? So,
but you lived in it for a minute.
Yeah, and that's when I started kind of opening up. But I think like when we start like, hanging back around the way and then I got arrested a few times.
Was that pre-Paradise?
That's pre.
This is pre-Paradise. Okay.
But then once when y'all, by the time I came back and y'all was doing the thing out there,
living,
and that's when I'm like, whoa. And that's when I started saying, okay, I want to go back. I want to go get my diploma. I want to go to school, graduate and stuff like that. And in the midst of that, I ain't had no job. So I was like, okay, I'm going to start off making a couple dollars, just do this and that, and turn it to this and that. But once I got locked up a couple times, it became real.
Yeah, it's a serious reality.
A couple
check,
people got killed and shot. Then it became real.
And you're sitting there witnessing some of it. Yeah,
exactly. So that's when you kind of
it's amazing we don't have, and if we do, we don't know it. PTSD, bro.
Well, I suffer from that. I suffer from that. Yeah, I jump up and run down the steps.
Well, I know your situation that popped off. You know what I mean?
So I've had some situations where I might be asleep, wake up, run outside, and my wife tell me I'm outside in my underwear. But I don't remember.
Wow.
Like, but yeah, I've had a couple of incidents, but nothing to bother me, like stop me from,
like living.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I think that's the thing that with people.
Well, that's probably the thing that has kind of waxed my heart kind of cold too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and see that's the thing I think that people don't understand is that people glorify the streets and all that stuff,
and
but
when
they
you're
don't
in it, you do.
Yeah, but when people don't look at the part after that,
right?
Or
Post,
like when you go through it, like nowadays, people think it's a badge of honor if you
did 5 years,
all this, but they don't look at the stuff about
what you had to endure,
right? Mm-hmm. And that's not easy to walk away from, man. And you might be close with somebody today, you don't see them, or something you could have done could have affected your family, or all that. So it's not to be glorified.
Which in my case it did.
Yeah, and then that's the other piece, having like a strong foundation, maybe like your mom,
right.
Just knowing that we didn't hurt them.
Yeah.
It's a lot to go with that. And then as you start growing, you start realizing that it's not just me.
Right.
Like, okay, because when you're young, you think you're invincible.
You're selfish.
Yeah, you're more selfish.
Yeah,
but then when you realize, dang, I done made my mom cry.
Yeah.
You be like, wow.
I didn't let my mother come see me.
Me neither.
You will never have this vision.
Well, actually, I was so scared of my mother, right? Because she told me, she said, if you get locked up, don't call me. And I'm like, why I can't call you, Mom?
Who else am I call? them friends you hanging out there with.
So when I did get arrested, and they were like, okay, well, the first thing they let me out, we just got to call your mom. I was like, I'd rather stay.
How many days? I could be at my friend's house.
I do not want to. There's something about that mom thing that kind of makes you be like man.
It meant something.
Yeah, but I think that's the other piece that you have to realize is that we were blessed to have somebody in our corner. Like we might have slid this way, but at the end of the day, we had somebody that was in our corner, opposed to somebody that don't have nobody. And that's why I don't judge people, because I am not the one to say they're that person, because of what they could have no foundation.
Absolutely. And you saying that makes me think of the conversation you and I had a while back when we were talking about Winfred and them. When, how it was weird dynamic, because I was jealous of you guys because you all lived up in these beautiful homes. According to you was jealous of us because we had cousins. We had 27 cousins.
Family. I'm like, man,
where my family at?
Exactly.
Because even your sister was away,
right? Exactly.
Like in college or off somewhere, right? Exactly. So it was you and your mom and your dad till your dad passed.
Exactly.
But I remember the conversation you and I had. And we were talking about that, and then you was like, "Yeah, but think about when you had the conversation with Renford and what he said."
Right, he said that because remember at that time you used to stay in fights with him. I used to stay in fights. Oh man, and they were bad back then.
They were bad. See, we was just doing mischief.
Yeah, they were like bad. And I remember he had got shot, and he was in a wheelchair, and by then he came, and I saw him, and we was talking. He's like, "Yeah, Fats, man. Just want to let you know, man, y'all were good dudes, man. We were jealous of y'all. That's why we used to start stuff with y'all." I was like, jealous of what?
We ain't nobody had
Exactly. We ain't had that, dude. He was like, nah, man, y'all had structure. And he told me that. He said, at 5th grade, I'd come in the house 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock at night on a school night. My mom ain't going to say nothing.
Yeah.
He said, we used to watch y'all parents be like, if you don't get this house in these street lights. He said, so we was jealous. We just didn't know it.
Yeah.
And I always remembered that, man. Yeah. And and that's what I think that's the other piece to that. When you start understanding the psychological reasons why people do, I don't think people are just born bad.
Right.
Certain circumstances that push certain stuff a certain kind of way.
Well, there's been this ongoing debate of is nurture or nature. You know what I'm saying? And I know in a lot of cases, in most cases, I think it's a combination of the two.
Right.
I would think for like him, it was both, because nurture said, "Mom, let me come in at midnight."
Right, exactly.
And then nature said, "Look what's happening out there, and I'm getting involved in it."
Right, exactly.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah.
And I totally agree, and I think that's why you never judge people.
Right.
And at the end of the day, you know, rest in peace, because like see, they turned out to be good guys. And as much
and
as
I never got to see that side.
You know what's funny, because it's how we used to think they was the baddest, but when you remember, I had the car first. Remember, so then they had Buddy. They was like, well, we'll treat you to the go-go, but we gonna go to the go-go on the other side of town. And I'm like, all right, bet. And then I saw how real they were, because they were like, okay, let's be cool. And I'm like, damn, telling us to be cool.
Around Kennedy Street.
I'm thinking that they didn't,
right.
You know, but that's when I started seeing it.
You probably nervous being with them.
Exactly. I'm thinking, okay. So then when I went, and then I'm seeing how they act to the guys on that other side, like, these guys need to be played with, man, be cool. I was like, whoa, we didn't even do that. Like, and that's when I realized they just like us.
Right.
They just like us. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, man is a man, woman is a woman. It's just the circumstances that can kind of push you in a certain kind of direction. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, we probably could have been real cool had they not been that way.
Right.
But there was definitely, I guess you can say, a chasm between us, because we were on first and Kennedy.
Right.
We never went to third
and Kennedy.
or fifth.
Right. Exactly.
We always stayed on first. They'd come down.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, and try to wreak some kind of
havoc. But see, if you ever look at it though, it's kind of like that saying, what is it? Birds of a feather flock together. Because although you grew up 2 blocks from me, you was in the apartment, I was in the house, but our mannerism, our personalities were still the same. That's why people that you kind of attract, like, as you know, buddies and stuff, want to kind of be like you. You know what I'm saying? And like all their friends, they kind of like the same. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them didn't make it past 20-some years old.
Young,
you know? And they were just
even remember Papa?
Yeah, which passed. Like it was a crew, like at least 6 of them that passed away. And like again, we had people pass, but it was not that many. Right. And because we just was, you know, we were different, cut from a different cloth. We moved different, and that's how it is. As you get older, you start realizing that, you know, I kind of vibe more with these type of people. And there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it at all.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, like you say, you can grow up in the same neighborhood, but you just got different moral beliefs. And that's where it crossed. Like, okay, I can get in a drug game, but I'm not going to rob you.
I ain't gonna let them rob you. Yeah, because that's the stuff we wasn't into.
Yeah, we just wasn't into that.
You know, I don't know if you remember from time to time when we would hang out with Pat Cockalo, where hanging out with him was always not a good idea.
Right, exactly. Because it's like we gonna get into something.
That was mischief.
Exactly.
Now that was just, I don't know what he was.
Exactly.
He wanted to get into something every time.
Wherever we at.
The only thing that I remember, well, a couple of things, but the one thing that I remember about him that I respected though, and I held it later on, is I remember this one time we was walking down towards Tacoma Park, the side street of Blair. What's that? Blair Avenue? Blair Road. And we were coming around, and we were walking. And he's like, "Yeah, man, somebody come through. You know, we just gonna, you know, mess with him," type of thing. And I was sitting there, I remember thinking to myself, I hope don't nobody go walking down this street, because I don't want to mess with I don't want to beat up nobody for no reason. But the one thing that he says, a dude and a girl was coming. And he said, all right, you know, you could see him move out the way, and everybody move out the way. And he's like, yeah, man, when a dude with his girl, man, you show them some respect. You know, you let them go. Exactly. And I was like, that's interesting. I mean, you know, given the mentality that he freaking had, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. I thought that was, there's some kind of compass of morals, you know what I'm saying? But I remember being up at the Allen Theater.
Right.
No, not the Allen. The joint on Georgia Avenue, off of Thayer Avenue. Oh, Georgia and Thayer.
You're talking about Silver Spring. Okay.
Yeah, I think it might have been called Thayer Movies.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, exactly. I didn't go up there that much. That's when y'all was.
That's when because I lived up there. Me, him, and I remember thinking to myself with this thing, me, him, it was somebody else. I don't know if it was Daryl or a couple other people. Bert, I don't remember who it was. And we was in the movies watching the movie. He ain't come to watch no movie.
No, he wasn't watching.
He was already on one. The usher. Poor usher, bro. The usher got lit that night for no reason. He was trying to fight, but we mobbed on this dude. We mobbed on this dude. And I just remember thinking to myself, Like, remember Friday After Next, one of them joints where Day-Day's like, I gotta live here.
Exactly.
I remember thinking to myself, I live up here, dude.
Exactly.
You doing this up here where I live, bro. I might run into this
same dude.
Right, who was already crazy to begin with,
right.
but he couldn't handle 4 or 5 dudes.
Right,
exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was that kind of stuff hanging out with him. Didn't do it often, but if you did, you was guaranteed to get into something. Exactly. He made no problems with doing it. Yeah.
Like you said again, that was their thing. They love to get into something. But in actuality, and he wasn't a bad dude neither.
No, not at all. Real good dude. Not at all. I don't know what he was trying to prove or show or whatever.
Just being, I guess,
young,
I guess.
Yeah. I remember the time me and Cornell, because me and Cornell was like,
that was your boy.
We stick as thieves, bro. If he was doing it, I was there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was your boy, right?
That was my man still to this day, bro. He held me down. I always tell people.
Yeah, you say when you was going through your worst, he was there for you.
Yeah, he put up the M's. You know what I'm saying? Paid for my stay. You know what I'm saying? That's when we was still getting busy, but I couldn't get busy, and by that time, because this is now work release that I'm in, and you had to pay to stay there. I ain't had no job. You had to have a job, or you going back up to PG. And so I lied and got a girlfriend of mine to get her. It was her stepfather who had a business to say I worked for him, which he did. But he said he worked at top security places that you just can't pop up on. You know what I'm saying? Like security clearances type buildings, and because the place wanted to come pop up on you, type of thing. And I was like, this is not gonna be good because it can't pop up. So he got that cleared for me. But yeah, so when I was there, still doing whatever. But then it was there that I went to one of these church services Sunday morning. I was just sitting.
The church service somebody you knew went to that church?
No, they used to come to the place.
Okay.
And hold it on a Sunday. And I remember they came like I can't remember the number of times, but I remember it was like maybe 4 times. So I went maybe like the 4th time. And so when I went, I was like, all right, let me just do something. I'm sitting here. Went down there. Sat through the whole service, sitting in the back. There's about 4 or 5 of us in there, and they doing, preaching, whatever. And I remember the person, it was a female. She asked, "Does anybody here want to get saved?" And a couple of people's hands went up, so I was like, "All right."
But at that time, you don't even know.
I don't even know what saved is.
Right.
But I want to be it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And oh, you mean right now? Because she was like, well, come on down front. Oh, today. You know what I'm saying? Oh, no, I ain't know that's what you meant. You know what I'm saying? But I did it, recited the Lord's, whatever she was saying to say. And I remember it. It was just as calm as I went down as the way I went back up them stairs, because you had to go down to the bottom floor. And we were like on the 2nd or the 3rd. And I remember walking up them stairs, and I was just like, whatever. Going back to my chilling. But I promise you, it was when I hit the top step. And this is no lie. And I don't mean I was shaking and all, but something just clicked immediately. Not like what just happened? It was like I knew what happened. I knew immediately what I needed to do.
Okay.
And as I opened that door, as soon as I touched the top step, it changed. So I opened the door, and right in front of me was the payphone. Went straight to the payphone. I didn't go to the room. I didn't go past go. I just went straight to the room. To the phone. Hit up Cornell, because that's my man. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, you know how we used to talk. Remember how me and Cornell was like, oh yeah.
Y'all talk.
That little weird stuff we used to do. And so that's how we were talking. And I was like, yo, guess what? I was like, yo, guess what? He was like, well, what's up? I was like, I just got saved. And he's like, yeah? I said, yeah. I said, so you know what that means? He's like, nah, what's up? I said, so that means I can't do that stuff no more. And he's like, oh, yeah? Because it was like, through him now.
Right.
I said, yeah. He said, okay. I said, so I tell you what. Do me a favor, because now I don't have no job. You know what I'm saying? So I said, but I need you to hold me down. You do because he was doing it for us. You know what I'm saying? Right. I said, but do your thing. Just pay for this thing while I'm here each week. And he did it for each week. I said, and when it's all over, you good. It's all you. And he did it. He paid for it. So I was like, I don't never got nothing. You know what I'm saying? To bad to say about him.
That's being a real friend.
That's my man. You know what I'm saying?
That's a real friend right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because we used to just do some dumb stuff.
Yeah, I remember. But like now, when you got saved, though, was it a hard transition for you?
It was almost an immediate transition, but I couldn't understand how to transition. Like, do I hang with them? What am I supposed to do now? Because I'm just living now at this point. But I, within that, while still there, landed a job. Ironically, not ironically, but crazy enough, I landed a job at the D.C. Bar Council's office.
Oh, wow.
The police. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So I'm like, none of this background must have hit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay. So I'm working there doing photocopying, all the office work type stuff, filing. And but the lady who worked there, shout outs to Jane Fleming, who we still cool to this day, met her because she worked there, and we just started talking. And I was telling her, some stuff. I really started confiding because I felt like I could just say stuff to her, and she didn't say nothing. And she was like, "Well, you need to meet my cousin. He's an evangelist." Blah, blah, blah. And that's how I started. Okay, let me navigate myself through because of her through the church thing. And so that's when I started getting active or acclimated or whatever you want to call it. And I remember even Van Dale was mad because we wasn't living no more.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That's how he was eating. But he's like, man, you know what I'm saying? That's messed up, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm different now, fam. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing things different. And it's been cool. I wouldn't change it, to be honest with you. Not one piece of it. When you start looking back, like you said, you start realizing that was supposed to happen.
Right. See,
even
now,
somehow or another, me and Reggie fell out, and I don't even know how.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It wasn't like we fell out. It just fell apart. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, I think for me, because I turned into something that I wasn't.
Right.
And I had so much anger in my heart for
Right.
certain stuff that had happened, and I was on some different stuff. And when I did go to church one time, because I could see, and we wasn't a church going family.
We wasn't a church going community.
Right, exactly. So
do you remember Zeke or Keith or anybody? None of us went to church.
Nah, we didn't do that.
We ain't know none of that. Yeah.
All I remember is that when my father died, my mother did make me go. She was like, okay, I tell you what, if you go every other Sunday with me, that'd be good. And I just went
to appease her.
Right. But then they said, okay, like you said wasn't to say, they was like baptism. Right. So my mother made me do it. So when I did it, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I was going to get wet. You know what I'm saying?
Get dumped.
So, but when I got older and I started understanding it more, that's when I wanted to recommit, and it felt like release.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And,
yeah.
I think especially like the first couple years, I really, really was like straight there. But the thing that I had to realize that the same way God forgave me, I got to forgive people.
Right.
And I cannot look at other people like, okay, they don't know no knowledge of the creator or anything, but right. I'm judging them. People are people. And I had to look at it. People didn't shun me,
right? So
I can't shun people.
Absolutely.
And that's the only thing that I could say that with people, you have to, I think that with the way people perceive like religion or whatever, I think that they make it seem like, okay, you can't be who you are no more. Like, meaning, like, me and you, we've been tight since we were kids. Like, you still Gary.
Right.
And certain stuff that you may not do or don't do with you, or I might know, we still cool.
Still cool.
And I think that that's the part where people, like, if you struggle with certain things, everybody got their own demons.
Right.
So long as you got a grip of your own demons, it doesn't matter. And so you can still be cool. And then, like you said, getting a part about, as you get a certain age, you got this phase of your life, then you got that phase.
Right.
So then when you have this phase, this may be conflicting with this phase anyway.
Right.
But at the end of the day, the one thing I always looked at is don't judge nobody. You know what I'm saying? Because the same person that could have been Hell on Wheels could be the same one that may even save your life. You never know.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So you do your part, and I believe definitely in universal law. Like what you throw out there is going to come back.
Coming back,
so
right.
If you treat people respect, and like you said, like when you decided to make your transition, people like me or Cornell, we didn't change on you. So when I said, all right, I'm through with the mess, y'all did the same thing.
Right.
That's totally. Because I was known for was laughing and joking. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So I'm
still laughing and joking.
Exactly.
Right?
I might not use all the words
right.
I used to use
in the form of filths.
That's been playing filth stuff.
Right.
Yeah, you know, so it's cool though. But I'm glad that it happened for you. And
man.
You know,
and the thing that I like is oddly even though we're like everybody's kind of like this way, we've always been this tight knit crew.
Right, exactly.
You know, we never really called ourselves a crew.
Right,
like that,
exactly.
but me, you, Nardo, Black, Cornell, Bert.
Right, exactly.
We just always been Kiki,
right,
Zeke.
exactly.
We just always been this unit and Dickie. I forgot about Dickie. That never had it. Well, Dickie for some reason I don't think he liked me.
He like nothing. He like himself. Right. But he was cool. He just got.
He was cool, but yeah.
We had a couple fights a couple times.
Right,
but
me
yeah,
too.
exactly.
I fought out in paradise.
Exactly.
But outside of that, we've always just been cool.
Right, exactly. And that goes back into that thing of birds of a feather flock together.
Yeah.
And the other pieces that we, like I said, like when you moved, I actually thought you moved a long time before you did, but like I know when I was going through my thing,
I would disappear.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. You disappear, but then remember I would do that too.
Right.
I'd be around, y'all see me for a while, I'd pop back up, and like I said, working and things like that. But I like when you decided, like after you had started the DJing thing, how did you transition to, okay, I want to try movies? Was that before or that was after you made the move down here? Or that was all like setting up to get down here?
No, because coming down here was not like a part of the plan. When I was up in D.C., I knew the acting thing is something I always wanted to do. Not anything that we've ever talked about. Just like I was like, who he on what? I knew he's gonna do. Like that. It was like because I never talked about it. It was just one of those things like I would do that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even know how I started doing it. I think I was flipping through. Remember the what's that paper called? The Gazette or something. One of them joints. They had a section in it.
Okay.
Advertised for it. And I remember this was probably about 18 years old. I remember because I was lost for a minute out because we lived in Silver Spring, so I wasn't coming around the way all the time. I remember being in Langley Park, and I remember walking down this little side street over to this restaurant Tony's, which is still there.
Right, the pizza place, right?
Yeah,
right.
Which is still there. But it's almost like I could see myself from across the street. Like I was across the street looking at myself walking. Like if I see it, I can see it right now.
Right.
And if I allow myself, I could feel the feeling, which I don't like the feeling because the feeling was sad. The feeling was like lost. I remember feeling like, who am I? What am I? Because I used to hate flipping through the newspaper when they had newspapers.
Yeah, exactly.
And I remember I used to go to that classified section trying to find a job, and I would go straight to retail. I remember that. I said,
and I went straight to the
I'm like,
to the food.
What do
stuff.
I know?
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
The kitchen stuff.
Busted suds.
It's funny you said that because that's when I had my job. I remember I was working at Duff.
I remember.
Exactly. Man.
I forgot about that, bro.
Oh my God.
Wow, Duff.
Yes.
That was in New Hampshire, right?
Exactly, right? Like Fox. So yeah, but so then you say you was walking and you saw yourself.
I just remember that moment of like, I don't know who the freak I am. I don't even know what I'm doing. Like, so there was no rhyme or reason to what I was trying to do, but I started seeing that Silver Spring or whatever it's called, the Gazette at the Silver Spring station, and I would even used to walk up there and to get it. And I would just flip through, and I started seeing that section for auditions.
Okay.
And I was like, I think I'm
auditions for acting.
For acting,
okay.
yeah. I think I'm going to, because at one point I was getting ready to just go get a job on a cruise ship. I was like, I'm out, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's how life had just threw me from like all kind of ways. And I started seeing little auditions, and I started going on some. It was like student films and college films and all that kind of stuff, productions. And I started landing little gigs. I got some stuff right now I would laugh at if you saw them joints. You'd be like, nah, dude.
Really?
Like before there was no, because it wasn't that long ago. Like I wore a dress, you know what I'm saying, in a joint. The joint is called Life's a Drag. It was a college student film. The character wasn't gay. The character had to dress in drag. The teacher was, but the character had to dress in drag for the final grade.
Oh, wow.
It was something weird. She said she threw it together because she said she was in class, the director, the writer. She said she was in class in film school, and the teacher said to her, okay, so what's your final thing? And so she said, I'm going to do this, and that, and the other. And so she just spewed it out. And so then she wrote it. I auditioned for it, got it.
They filmed it in Maryland?
This was filmed in D.C.
Okay.
Right off 16th Street. Like downtown 16th.
Oh, okay, I got you. Wow.
Malcolm X Park.
Okay, got you.
And so that started happening. So now, okay, I'm gonna act. I can remember a line or two. You know what I'm saying? So let me.
But you had no previous experience, really? No
elementary,
teaching, no
small stuff. Well, me and Black used to sing in the Glee Club. And
remember, remind me to bring that out.
Bring that up to him, bro.
Exactly.
He used to sing in the Glee. Miss Glover, that was her name.
Yes, I remember Miss Glover.
Miss Glover. Rudolph. Right. That's funny.
So now, do you remember like your first time? Like, say, let's go back to where you first said, "Okay, I'm gonna do this." You said, "Okay, I'm going to go for not an interview. What you call it?
Audition.
Audition." Was you like scared to death?
I was nervous.
How do you pull it all together? Like, okay, I'm gonna put myself, or how do you do it? Like, you read the line and say, okay, I'm gonna be this person.
Well, they give you the size, but the first time I auditioned ever, it was stupid. I was horrible, and I was horrible because I was dumb. I was dumb because I did something dumb before I went in there. Before I went in there, I sat in the car. When I sat in the car, I drank some alcohol.
Okay.
I wanted to calm my nerves.
Got you.
But what it did was it threw me the freak off.
Really?
Now brain ain't like, what's your name again?
Oh, you know wow.
So I didn't sip and get cool. I think I, you know what I'm saying? You know, they say not a sip, not a swallow. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I think I overdrank sitting there because I was trying to.
Now, this your first audition?
First audition.
Now, you bombed at that.
It was horrible. But I can see their faces looking at me like, who the hell? You know what I'm saying? If you don't get the hell out of here.
But that didn't change you because you were still persistent.
Because I knew that was dumb.
Okay, yeah. So you owned up to it.
Yeah, that was dumb.
I messed that up.
Was stupid, yeah.
So now, boom, okay.
And so then I was still looking for the student things.
Okay.
I'd seen some things that I haven't seen. One was called The Mercenaries that I haven't seen to this day, and that was back in the, I don't even know what year, what we circa 90s or 80s?
Yeah, I would say like early 90s. Maybe.
Early 90s, yeah. I did a few student things.
Okay.
But then somewhere along the line, I can't remember how the Pelican brief came along. So, let me go out to Baltimore and audition. Audition for them, got it. They repped me and they started sending me out to places. The Replacements.
Okay, The Replacements.
Up there in Baltimore.
Okay.
What was the joint?
Replacements, that's the football movie.
That's Keanu Reeves.
Right.
And Gene Hackman.
I didn't know you was in that. Okay.
I met some real cool people on that set.
Really?
Man. Yeah.
Now, where'd they film that at? Up in
PSI.
Baltimore? Okay.
In Baltimore, the stadium.
Okay.
I don't know what they call it today.
Because like I said again, I just remember when I had heard, like I said again, when I'm still kind of doing my thing again, they was like, I'm telling you, Gary is
you slow the tape down. You know what I'm saying?
I was like, nah, man, whatever. Then I saw it. I was like, I ain't smoking no more. I swear, I thought I just saw my boy on TV. They was like, nah, that was really him. I was like, for real?
That's funny.
Nah, man, nah. But like after you started kind of doing it and you kind of got cast, to play some little things that your confidence started building up and things like that.
Yeah, because, it's with anything. You start hanging with people that do it. Like you just said a little minute ago, birds of a feather. You start shifting, I need to do and be and kick it with. And so that's what started happening. I started kicking it with and hanging with and, more communications with. And, like I said, I had the management, so they would always send me out on auditions and so on and so forth. Like if I messed up or whatever, if I didn't get one thing, sometime it could lead led to something else, right? So, and it was fun. It was cool. But like I said, then my life got turned upside down. And so when I started walking in God, walking in Christ, I started feeling conflicted. Like I don't know. Do you act when you when you love Jesus? You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Can you say it? Can you do that?
Right.
And so I backed out. I pulled back from it because I was like, then maybe I need to be focused more in church, and involved in that than this. Which I'm glad, honestly, looking back, I'm glad I did because it got me grounded in God. Because, not that I wasn't still acting a fool, but I remember even telling God, I said, listen, God, if you're going to beat me, you're going to beat me in church. Because I ain't going back out there no more. I don't want to do it no more. I'm good. So spank me for this. Right. But you ain't going to ever spank me for that because them things that we did,
I'm done with
we just might not come back from. And I was afraid of that. I was afraid that I can go back out there and not come back. You know what I'm saying? And so then that just started happening here, there. And then I saw a interview with Denzel Washington, and he just talked about being a Christian and acting and how he separates and do whatever
between the two.
And I was like, oh,
okay,
I'm going back to do it.
Okay, cool.
And so by that time, I'm down here. I think I'm down here by that time, or about to be. And then I just started picking it up here. Yeah.
So now, is it a big transition going from movie to TV?
Well, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I would be the wrong person to ask. And the only reason why I say that is because I'm not the working actor. Right. I don't even pursue it. I did for a while, but then I just kind of backed out, got more involved in doing the radio thing, got involved heavy with the music for sure, doing other things, working with artists here, and then.
On the music side.
On the music side.
Okay. And they say that industry is rough though. It can be.
And just not even the mainstream freaking Christian side.
Really?
Yeah, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, man. People are people.
Yeah, that's true.
That's just it. Don't expect nothing but what you get. Wow. That's why I don't be surprised at nothing. Like, they don't surprise me nothing. That's a person, right? Yeah, right. So.
They are human.
Right, yeah. Wow. I remember up in D.C. at the job that I was talking about, co-worker of mine's Reggie, real cool dude. We still cool to this day. I remember talking about the pastor at the church I was going to up there, and I was bigging him up. I was like, yeah, and he wouldn't. And he said a few words to me to change my whole outlook on. Oh, I never even thought of that. He said he's still a man.
At the end of the day,
it changed my whole thought process. I was like, that is true. You know what I'm saying? Wow. And he gonna do man things. You know what I mean? Exactly. And so, but I just kind of fell back, and so I do it if it comes, and work with it that way, like with the film, or what I'm involved with right now that I'm just not saying until it actually get ready to pop. But I got a couple of things I'm going to start working on this year, some productions, and. Yeah, man, just, you're going to see me more than you see me before.
How long have you been doing this actual thing right here?
WadeWorks has been, I remember drawing the studio. I don't know what the name of it was called, but I remember drawing it on a piece of paper. I said, if I get my studio, it's going to look like this. I was like the plant.
You've always been a visionary type of dude,
because I used to say, you will never go anywhere if you can't see beyond the four corners of your neighborhood. You will never go anywhere if you can't see around those four corners, that block that you live on. Right, exactly. If you can't see beyond that, then you're gonna be stuck there. Shot, bro. Right, exactly. And but I always just like I just know I want more. I don't know what the more is, but I know I'm supposed to have more. Even when I would be on some sets and I'm an extra, and I'm not down in extras because hey, do what you do. Right. I would be sitting there like, I'm supposed to be over there with them. They go Latifah right there. They go Mike Epps right there. I'm supposed to be talking to him. Why am I not talking to him? Why am I not talking to that person? I'm supposed to be over there. So that's just always been my mentality. And so now I don't know Mike Epps or Latifah yet, but
it's coming.
But now some of the people that I used to be like, oh snap! Now I'm like, oh, what's up, fam? You know, what you doing? You know what I'm saying? We call.
I think that's like you said, you moving in the direction that you want to do, and I think that's cool, man. I'm proud of you, man. I swear, like you really doing it. And like I said again, it was already in you.
Right.
You just didn't know what you wanted at that time. But I think everybody that we grew up ended up landing exactly where they supposed to be.
Yeah, and I want to find out where everybody is. I'm ticked to this day that I did not make Black's 50th birthday party.
Right.
All of y'all was up in that Mickey Flick.
Yeah.
Cornell was calling me left and right. Yo, you know him, Joe, Youngin, Joe.
People that we hadn't seen and like.
I saw the pictures. So I was like, no, I'm good. I'm cool.
But now that's the other piece though. Like one day they called me on it was like a 6-way. It was Cornell, Bird.
I think I was on that call.
Yeah, was you? Yeah, you're right.
Because everybody was calling from his phone and you called from yours. Yeah.
And we said we're going to try to get together because one thing I did realize is that I hate that we only see each other when something bad happens. We got to get out of that. And then the other thing, especially with this COVID thing, you don't know how it's going to turn out.
Facts.
So you have to look.
We almost lost Cornell. A lot of people don't know that.
I know. Because you remember he was up there with me
at the hospital.
Not the last time, but I knew how sickly he was. So any little thing could catch him. I knew about that. But I realized that life too short.
Right.
And so that's the thing. I think that when you know that today could be your last, you cherish every moment, and you don't sit there and worry about the small stuff because it's somebody right now that then lost their mother and father to COVID.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Or sister and brother, husband and wife, all that type of stuff. So you got to look at that, be like, man, I just got to enjoy life and try to stay safe and things like that. And don't sweat the small stuff.
No.
You cannot. And I think that when you complain and you're blocking the blessings.
Yeah, that stuff brings something about too, man. Absolutely.
Exactly.
And when you say that, like I said a little earlier, I said being out there has kind of caused my heart to wax cold because to this day it's like I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
Why you don't never care about nothing? Because why do I need to care about that? Probably don't care too much.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
I guess you get to
stone. You know what I'm saying?
You get to the point where you don't worry about something that you can't control.
That I cannot control.
Right, and I think that's the problem with a lot of people. Because I look at life as like you do a computer. You decide what you want to download to slow down that computer.
Right.
So if you put everything in your brain that's negative, you worried about every problem in the world, you're gonna be a negative person, and that's gonna be toxic. But I try not to get in unless there ain't nobody dying or something that's major. Right. I don't really want to feed into that. You know what I'm saying? Like people gonna be people. People are human. People make mistakes.
True.
But at the end of the day, I got to live my life.
Absolutely.
And enjoy being here, man.
Yeah.
So that's how that goes.
And you and I had lost touch for a good. It felt like a good 10,
probably about
10 years,
10 to 15 years
until you reached out.
You mean like when I reached out this last time? Or?
Well, kind of like the first time that you reached out since the time we had really kicked it.
Right.
Which had been years.
Right.
Yeah.
Because like you said, you was doing your thing, then I was doing my thing, and like I did the exact same thing. And our stories are kind of somewhat the same. When I got on a certain kind of mission, I was so involved in trying to deprogram myself. So I didn't talk to a lot. I mean, I would speak to everybody, but I didn't see a lot of people, and just working and stuff like that. Just trying to, get my mind right. Because my mentality back then was totally different. And once you kind of realize, and like I said, that day when I was doing my thing, and I see you on that TV, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute.
Skirt.
But then, like I said, I know Nardo had always talked to you every now and then. Then, me and Nardo always spoke the most, me and Nardo and Black.
Right.
And, things started just changing. We started growing up, and, people started families and this, that, the other, and stuff like that. But I always wondered how you were doing. And, it's other people that I still would like to see. And that's why I was saying that when y'all made that phone call, I really meant that.
Yeah, man, I was inside. I was like, God, this feels good.
Yeah,
I even had a conversation with my mother about not about the call itself, but I was just talking to her. I said, because she's like, how you doing? How you doing down there? But this a while ago. I said, it's cool, because it is cool. I mean, I really enjoy being here. I said, and I got the select, my circle is, like uber small. A few people, my man Deacon Dirty, my boy X, a pastor buddy, a friend of mine's. It's like 4 people, and Vincent, and but I don't have the nostalgia with them. Like I can't be like, yo, remember?
Right.
But when I'm talking to you and we got on the phone, it was like, dude, remember when
we talked for about 2
and
hours.
Everything inside of me, like I remember that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But we go that here, and there's nothing against them because we cool as a mug, but we can't really go past last week.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Because we talking about what's happening right now. Yeah, and so I miss that part of it. So every now and then when I talk to Cornell or Bert or you, and I get to catch up and just pick up kind of like where we left off, I'm like, oh, that was good. That felt good.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? And then, like I said, I appreciate you letting me come down here to visit, man. And like I said, like it felt so good to know that one of my friends, closest friends, turned out to do well. Right. And that's all I wanted to see, that everybody
damn hustling,
good,
bro.
and doing their thing. And, I think we do need to set up the time that, got
to get the band back together.
Yeah, you got to get the band together. Like the
aggressive funk, bro.
There you go.
So before we wrap it, like where is everyone that you still communicate with? Because like I said, I see a handful of people on social media that's Cornell every blue, but we talk every blue. But
y'all do talk.
Same with Bird.
Right.
I'll see him online or Facebook, but we'll kick it every blue. But so those are two that I'm more
right.
But like Zeke, Kiki, Tony,
everybody still.
Booby, where are they? Dee Dee.
We just saw Booby.
Sean Reeves, Country.
Now those people, like the older
Swahili.
guys, I haven't seen them.
Wayne.
Yeah, the only one I haven't seen. And that's because we're in the same motorcycle club as Kenny Williams.
Okay.
And Chuck Drummond.
Yeah.
I see them when we do our motorcycle thing. But pretty much the guys that me and you grew up with, we all still see each other, but it's always usually in a family setting.
Gotcha.
Like Black, he'll throw, his wife has an extremely large family. So they always throwing something. Nato, he coming through Block, Zeke. Everybody still sees each other, and some see each other a little bit more. But we all talk often.
Okay,
we all talk often.
Yeah,
I told it. I said I got to call you when we wrap this up, because Zeke, when I told him where I was, he said, "Please call me." I ain't talked to Gary in forever.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. That's why I've been wanting to know, what are they doing,
right,
bro?
Yeah,
that's why I just want a glimpse. Like, show me something. You know what I mean?
Working, just take care of family. That's it, and trying to survive. You know? I think at the other piece of that is that we're at that, what I considered like the sandwich of life, where... Well, we're a little bit past where we were at that age where we were still taking care of our parents, but our children weren't old enough to take care of themselves. Right. So now my daughter, this is her first year in college. She's up at Spelman. Shout out to Spelman.
That's what's up.
And we just dropping her off. So now we in the next phase. And pretty much.
And they cool with the in-house.
Well, they doing it a lot different. Like how it was like crazy how you have to. How was it? You took a COVID test like a week before, but then as soon as you get on the ground, you got to take another one before we, So remember when I told you I was going to hook up with you? Then I didn't know all that was taking,
right.
So
okay,
it took
gotcha.
a while before we even
the whole process.
It's totally different. But like I said again with this COVID, the way things were, everything's changing. So it's kind of like some of the stuff is they making up as they go, because this is their first year on campus. I mean, this is her first year. But the first couple of semesters she was online at home.
Gotcha.
So this is her first time will be actually on campus, but they still, I think they're keeping them on campus, so to speak. I'm not sure.
So they kind of like, so that'll keep them kind of like in a bubble.
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah, gotcha.
Because like I said again, that's one thing I noticed, and I was going to ask you about that. As far as like with the COVID here, and we get this story.
Oh man, Atlanta forgot that we had.
I was going to ask you that, because like I went into the store with my wife and her cousin, and Like people looking like we got like antennas on. They looking at you like we got
seven masks on.
Like I'm like, did we take a wrong exit? Like, we dropped off. Like did they not know that? Damn,
so they not heard about this thing? Yeah.
So is it that they don't enforce it as much here, or how's it?
It's I don't know if it's the enforcement thing. It's the mentality thing, and the mentality is almost like. You know what I mean? Really. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. You go to certain places, people are covered up. But you can go to some places and be in the room with, crowds of people like, they don't watch the news? Like, have y'all heard of this? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Wow. So, yeah, that's something that I did notice. That's the only thing. Now, have they done the shut down where they?
We had to go through those phases where it shut down.
Oh yeah, y'all did go through that?
The essentials had to go out.
Okay.
Like for me, I'm on that, at least at the station, on the essential side.
Okay.
So I was still going, but for me, it's overnight.
Right.
So it's me. Right, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm in there with 40 people.
Now that's another thing, like because of the COVID, a lot of people are starting to lose jobs and things like that. Y'all getting hit with that a lot too?
Yeah, that's
really
definitely been affected down here in Atlanta. People doing the PPPs and the EIDL, all that stuff. We even did it for the studio.
Okay.
Yeah. Because when it hit, clients was like, yeah, we're going to fall out for a little while because they didn't want to come nowhere. They didn't want to do nothing, which was understandable. So we did it. They've been slowly coming back in, and I think we got one coming in today. But yeah, slowly been coming back.
That's the other piece that I noticed, like because I work in healthcare. I wasn't affected as much as a lot of people, far as have to. Be sent home because things like that.
Right.
We definitely blessed because a lot of people I know haven't worked and they didn't kind of discontinue the jobs, and so it's rough. It's about to be real. And
some businesses that grand opening, grand closing, type of deals. It was rough.
And growing up and being in DC, we got to experience the riots. How
was that? What was the atmosphere like? Up there?
Well, now you had to remember when you first, before the Capitol riot, they had the riots. What was it for the Black Lives Matter? And that's when everybody's burning down stores and all that type of stuff. And we got to see that. But then it was this, and like you saw all the military and everybody for the Black Lives Matter thing. Of course. But then
it's like, don't burn down the 7-Eleven.
Exactly. Yeah.
Pow.
Exactly.
Tear gas.
But with the Capitol thing, they just went berserko.
Oh, here's the key.
Yeah, exactly. Come on.
To your left, you'll see.
Man.
Right.
Matter of fact, go ahead and put your feet up.
Right.
If you want to,
You're good.
Exactly. And I just kept thinking about this. Because it was a few years back, they had a lady. She had some type of mental issues going on. I'm not sure what it was. She had like a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
And she was driving. She had a baby in the crib, in the back. I mean, the
back of the car seat. Yeah.
Driving. And she had a mental. So she started driving erratic, and the police was chasing her. She drove to the front of the Capitol. They shot her 27 times with the baby in the car. You know what I'm saying? But now you got people storming the Capitol. And
2,700 people out there storming the Capitol.
And chasing the Capitol Police. And I was like, man, this is like,
it's ridiculous,
man.
Bro.
And that's when I started looking at it like, wow. Can you imagine you just saw this in, 2020? I mean, this whole thing, everything has just been crazy.
It's been crazy.
Yeah, but we just been trying to survive it. And, it's really tense because you'll go to work and that's when you start seeing that a lot of whites, some of them don't want to really discuss it, and I
kind of understand it.
Yeah.
I guess for me, I think about that because I was saying to asked a couple of people, I said, what if you went to work and then you realize that the dude you work with, you saw him
exactly
on that screen.
Right, exactly.
How do you feel with him still being here?
Right, exactly.
Why is the job still letting him be here?
Exactly.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's why I said that,
but the other way around, you got to go.
Yeah, sorry, but you got to go.
You want to get to the door.
Exactly. They're going to call security. They're going to get you up out of there. And, so, but the climate is, like I said, the only thing I can say that I hope that now we under new leadership, I think things hopefully get a lot better. But I do tell people that Trump, in my opinion, was the right person for the climate of how the world was, or the country was, being real narcissistic, people not caring. So I think that, boom, now COVID hit. You need we need to change our ways. And I think that you need somebody that cares. And I think that's what happened. You were allowed to see what it feels like to have somebody that doesn't care.
Chaos kicks in. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Now, and I think you got to go through something to get to the next level. And I think that this is going to kind of help us to kind of be more united.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because at the end
God
of the day,
willing.
Yeah, God willing. Yeah. That's all I can say on that.
And people too, because it still involves people.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it still involves people.
Yeah.
So,
like I said, we've talked several times over the past. It has been now a few years now since we kind of reconnected.
Right.
Like I said, it's good to see that you are still thriving, that you out, that you ain't down at the where you was when we last saw you.
Exactly.
And you married, which I was like, wait, who?
Exactly.
Fat Tony married?
Exactly. All of us got married.
Yeah.
All of us, yeah.
Black got married.
Well,
Nardo had gotten married.
He got married first.
I was at the wedding.
You was at that wedding?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Because you was there, right?
Yeah, I was in it.
You was in it, yeah. Because you knew Nardo was real cool.
Yeah, me, Nardo.
He used to cut your hair.
You remember I was his first.
He was the first.
Y'all
used
hurt
to
my
test
feelings,
dump.
man. Yeah, I was test dump.
We was roasting,
Yo,
bro.
Man, y'all really hurt
that
my
line.
feelings.
Did you ever see Blackish when he had that line? That line.
That made him have to give me free haircuts for a lifetime. He really messed me up. But,
scarred on that joint.
Yeah, Nardo turned out to be real
Nardo
well.
owned a couple of barbershops. And
he's doing real well. And I was kind of worried about his situation too, because again, when COVID hit, like he can't open up the shop back then, we make sure he was straight. And like I said again, it was rough. Yeah, but it's starting to somewhat turn. We hadn't got back to the normalcy yet, but
whatever normal is, we're in it.
Right.
Like there's no back to normal.
Right. This will be the new normal.
This will be the normal. Right.
Okay.
Now I don't know if that means we're gonna be masked up every day, but all the things that have gotten changed is going to stay that way.
Okay.
It's just not going to go back the same.
Okay, let me ask you this real quick. How do you feel about them having a vaccination and stuff like that? How do you feel on that one?
Well, I have two, I guess, streams of thought. One is if it's going to work, let's go for it. The other side is, isn't it brand new? Right. And I'm glad I don't have to test for it. Right. But I remember seeing an interview with Dr. Fauci, and he was talking, and the way he was talking, I promise you, I got to find a video. He was talking like, this vaccine here is not really gonna do it. Like it'll fix something, but not necessarily this strand, because the strand, the way he was talking was like, this vaccine ain't really good. Then what's the point of it? But they got to test it. Right. Just like with anything, you got to put it out there on the market before. See, this, I'm like, y'all got no monkeys. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like I was going to wait till they make it mandatory for me, especially for what I do now. Right. But I think also that it is going to work. I think they were probably going to have like certain people going to get the good stuff, and then they're going to market it down. It's going to be a money thing. So if you don't, like, I look at it like insurance. Like if you don't have good insurance, you are shut down. That's how I looked at it. Once they get to where they work the kinks and everything out, I think that now it's going to cost you a kidney to get it. And if you're not privileged enough,
it costs you a kidney to save a lung.
Exactly. So that's how I think that. I think that's another way that they're going to monopolize something.
Yeah, because everything becomes a money grab.
Exactly. At the end of the day, this country is made up of just money. That's the common denominator. So I look forward to, well, I don't look forward, but I can see it happening that eventually the poor people aren't going to be able to be privy to it like people that have money.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. And that's when, that's a sad case. And that's the part that I was saying about I hope that through this COVID, this has taught us to kind of care about everybody, not just the poor, not just and hopefully if that changes.
But it sounds like Biden is doing some talk about making sure that everyone is taken care of. But like I always say, time is a snitch. It's gonna always tell. Bro.
It's gonna always tell. Exactly. So
yeah, it's just a matter of time.
We'll see. So I think that at the end of the day, it's up to us, especially when I'm saying us, I'm saying is as black people in the collective. Right. I think this is the time that we have to really support each other. I think that it's important for people to support black businesses because we can't expect anybody to give us anything. So we have to make our own way, support each other. So like I should not have to be able to see you suffer because if I'm working and I can do for your business, that keeps you working and so on and so forth. It's a trickle effect. So we got to look out for each other. And that's what I think about that. So hopefully we get it and we'll be good.
Well, real quick, shout out the motorcycle club because I didn't know Tony ride bikes and you've been doing it for years now. And then on top of that, I learned you had a motorcycle club. I'm like, what?
Nasty Habits motorcycle club, and it's people always ask me about what does that mean. It just means we have like how we used to use the word that's nasty in a good way or a bad but meaning like I look at the schedule, look at the weather report. Oh, it's a nice day. Let's ride. All my friends, all of us do that. So it's a family oriented club. We do things and
y'all travel from like different states and all that kind of stuff, right?
And if I can show my logo.
Show the back, absolutely.
I don't know if you can get that because this is one of my shirts from the back. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah, you see that? Nasty Habits, Addicted to the Ride, Upper Marlboro, Maryland. What does that say? MC? Yeah. MC, okay. And you go by the name of?
Drac.
Yeah,
exactly. It's so funny when people come around, they say that to people like y'all.
Right, like, who are you talking to? Excuse me, who's Drac?
But, exactly. But
is there a Dracula?
That's my nickname. Right. From Dracula. Actually, my dad used to call me that back in the day.
Now that's something I never knew.
Yeah, that came.
We could have been calling you that for years.
Nah, we'd have been fighting a little bit more. I mean, y'all call me anything anyway. So, back in the day, my dad got off work at night. He did the midnight shift.
Gotcha.
So back then, I was on the CB radio thing.
I remember that.
I still do that.
Wow,
too.
That's funny.
And he hooked me up with a little radio, so I wouldn't go to bed till he came in.
Okay.
So he'd be like, you asleep all day and come out at night waiting on me, So that's how he started calling me that. So that's where that Dracula came from. But we just do family oriented things. I have a big cookout I do every year. Christmas parties, and the reason I started the motorcycle club is to change the image of what people think
a motorcycle club is.
Yeah, they think it's a bunch of gangs and this, that. Although they do have some of that, but I wanted to show little kids that it's something to do besides get in trouble.
Right.
So that's my outlet. So I wanted to make sure that like the families all on board with it, and we do a big cookout, and it's free.
That's what's up.
Every year we do a big cookout. Anybody can come.
Yeah.
And like I've done little charities at schools and stuff because nowadays, like, when we were growing up, we had some type of role model. Not necessarily always just a sports athlete. Sometime it might have been the woodshop guy.
Right.
Whatever. So I wanted to just show a different image. So that's what I do, and I want the little kids to say, okay, because that's how I was. Like, okay, I like this, but they ride motorcycles.
Right.
Like fun. So it's something to not get you in trouble.
Right. Did you have a moped when Sean and them used to have their mopeds?
Remember, I couldn't. We were poor, so we couldn't. I remember sitting on the porch. They had
the mopeds.
We probably.
I thought they were cool.
Yeah, like I remember them having them. Like I'm sitting on the porch, like man, and I think like as it kind of. They had the mopeds and the MB5s and all that stuff. That's what kind of led me into it. So by the time I was old enough, I think I scraped up a couple dollars and bought a scooter.
They just got your own thing, right.
Yeah, and things like that.
Or those remember those leather visor hats that I gave my mother the silent treatment for until I got one.
Exactly. With mine, remember I got mine because you got yours and we got our name and mine was supposed to say Tony, but he put the space in it so it looked like it said to New York. Oh man, he's hurt my feelings.
He's like, why?
To New York. Like, okay, I'm gonna just turn this back.
That is right.
Exactly.
That's too funny.
Yeah.
Well, man, I appreciate you coming down. Y'all coming down. Well, y'all came down for your daughter to drop her off at Spelman.
That's right.
HBCU.
Correct.
And I hope y'all got to see Atlanta a little bit. And
man, I got some great eating spots. And we'll be back down here soon. Like I said again.
So when the weather break a little bit.
Well. Yeah, maybe even before that.
Oh, okay.
Because like I said, we got family down here, my wife's cousins and them. So we trying to make it happen.
That's what's up.
And now I know where you are. I can come down here.
Hey, holler, man, anytime, bro.
Next time I'm gonna actually talk to Black and them. They were gonna come with us.
Really? Man, that would have been amazing.
But we gonna set something up, man. I want to get the crew down here and come in there and enjoy
your show. Get a 15. What is that? A 15 passenger? Yeah.
I had one of them too. That was my little side hustle. I used to take people to Atlantic City.
Oh, really?
That was my little side hustle.
What's up.
Because that hustle is
get it how you live. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. That's what's up.
But I appreciate you giving me your time.
Yeah, no, this is gonna be fun. I can't wait to drop this and let everybody see it and all that good stuff. Catching up is always good.
Always a great thing.
Absolutely. We y'all head out tonight.
We're going to be heading out as soon as I leave here.
As soon as the door shut behind us.
Exactly. I'm going to grab something to eat, and then that's it. We're going to head on up the road and get the rest of the week started. You've always been a type dude, man. You spoke it into existence. You always was that dude, man, and you was always solid. And you ain't changed a bit, man. And
same with you, bro.
You.
Yeah, no, man. I like the friends that I grew up with. I mean, I like in fact, I can use the word love.
Yeah.
The friends that I grew up with, because we've always just been cool.
Been cool, no big deal.
No big nothing, bro.
Exactly. And like I said again,
and last thing, remember Nardo used to come outside with a quarter and he'd ask for a dime?
Exactly.
Get that Snickers bar every day, bro. He come outside, but Nardo knew how to save money.
Exactly.
Nardo was smart with the money.
Exactly.
That's what's up. It's your boy G-Wade holding it down. G-Wade Podcast, kicking it alongside with my man Deacon Dirty, and family is in the building. Y'all know what it is.
The G-Wade Podcast.
The G-Wade Podcast.
Bringing you the cool interviews,
the hot topics, and all that other crap.
The G-Wade Podcast with Deacon Dirty.